Hey friends, welcome back. As you can see from the title of this video, we have some really fun projects for this week that I'm hoping to tackle. One of them is going to be making a plant wall in our sunroom. I am so excited about this. My husband actually helped me put together some shelving that we are going to be using for our plant wall. And who knows what other little things we'll get into this week. But this plant wall is so exciting to me. We are actually getting ready to head out to a greenhouse to see if I can find some smaller plants to work into the plant wall. My husband actually got me some roses for my birthday this past week. And while he was there, he picked up one little plant for me. I'll show it to you. And he told me that they have a lot more. And that was at a local shop. And I know we can stop in there and just see if they have some smaller plants, especially if the greenhouse doesn't have a lot, since it is the colder months right now and they probably don't have a huge selection. Let's head out and see if we can find ourselves some little greenery in the cold weather. So they have a deal if you buy 10 of these smaller pots, which is perfect since I want to get a bunch of smaller plants on the little plant wall, and I'm loving these colors and the different textures. Can't wait to get them home. All right, for those of you that have not seen our sunroom, this is it. And I am so excited to be working on this space. Since we've moved, this has been a space I'm just have all the ideas for. So obviously I like plants, I love houseplants. This is a great place for them to live. And we are going to be making the plant wall in here. These are the shelves that my husband put up for me. These were a TJ Maxx find that were so reasonably priced. I just had to snag them up. There was 2 of them, and then we kind of put them together to make it look more like one. And it's going to lead out into our kitchen that's out here. And we're going to make this a space to grow little plants, propagate, and just enjoy looking at it, especially because you can see it from the living room, which is out this other door over here, and all of that. So we will show you more of the orientation a bit further into the video. So here are all the plants I picked up at the greenhouse. There's a nice variety. I will actually be able to propagate out of this as well to make more plants. And then I found some other goodies for this project. So these here I ordered on Amazon. They do have dishes to go underneath of them. This is about, if you see any little pieces of dirt in here, I was testing out putting some plants in the shelves. But these are a 4-inch pot because that's the space we have inside of here. These are actually meant for plate displays, I believe. So they are like a plate rack is what most people would call these shelves, but we're gonna make it into this fun plant display. So I got this terracotta color, and then I went to Dollar Tree, and I haven't been to Dollar Tree in so long. Found some super great deals at Dollar Tree. So I got these black ones and these green ones. They were 4 for $1.25. And I also was able to grab these stands. They're $5 a piece. We'll probably be using them in the setup on the other end of the sunroom. And then I also picked up this big guy for $5. And then they had these as well. I think they were they $1.25? Yes, $1.25 for this size. So I'm gonna use this for a few other plants. Down under here, this fell off, but I have thrifted / antiqued a few fun little bottles and things to use for propagations on this shelf as well. You all know I love sharing little spots and places in Central PA. One of them is a really small secondhand shop called Woven in Stone, and I will leave her Instagram link below if you guys are interested. But she had these in her shop whenever I was visiting one time, and she gave me this great idea. So there is 6 of them, And what we're gonna do is we are going to use command strips and we're going to put them along the wall on the side to propagate little propagations. You can see I have things I'm piling out here for this project as well. So it's gonna add this fun little touch to this side of the shelving, and I'm so excited to see it all come together. I just thought that idea was fantastic. Also give her Instagram page a follow for fun decor inspo. Even if you don't live in Pennsylvania and can't visit her shop, definitely a great inspo page. So I think we're gonna just work on all of this. Obviously some of these plants need to be put into some of these pots up here, and so we need to do a lot of just like planting and prepping, and then we'll start styling and putting together this wall. One of the first issues I had to address and tackle was the plate rack is obviously designed for plates. It's not designed for small, short little pots. So I needed to create some sort of risers to put a lot of my plants on. I was at Dollar Tree and just really trying to find something that would be inexpensive. My daughter actually gave me an amazing idea, which I'm going to keep my eye out as I do a lot of antiquing and thrifting. But she said, Mom, you could set the plants on candlestick holders. Depending on the style and shape of the candle holder, it would really work well as a riser. You need about like 1 to 3 inches worth of lift for these plants. So the other thing that worked really well was some 8-ounce largemouth jelly jars turned upside down as little risers too. But I found those wooden crates at Dollar Tree and I just painted them white, and they're working great as little risers too. So I'll probably be thrifting some just to make it look a little more, have a little more variety. But I love what's worked out so far. So now we're going to start into potting up the plants. I wanted to put them all into a little bit larger pots just to give their roots some wiggle room, plus some fresh soil. And a lot of you know that I use liquid seaweed in my houseplants to feed my houseplants. I have never had any problems with any of my houseplants not liking liquid seaweed. They really thrive off of the minerals that are in that, and I get it, you can get it on Amazon. So I will leave that link below in case you're interested in using that, because I've just had really great success with that. So here I'm using a technique that I seen on Instagram one time, and that is to tape off the holes in the bottom of your pot, really soak that soil super well before you transplant your plant into it, and then you can peel the tape off of the bottom and it will drip down through and just release the rest of the water, but it really helps the soil get very well soaked. A lot of these little plants, because it's winter time, have been a bit neglected and not watered super well, so a lot of them were very, very dry and really needed to be soaked well. The other thing that I have started doing is taking a little bit of this white tape and taking a Sharpie and writing the name of the plant on that tape, as well as what type of sunlight it needs, because it helps me when I'm like moving plants around my house or just using them in decor to know where to put them and to make sure that I'm not putting them in the wrong type of lighting, because if it's a plant that needs shade, it's going to definitely suffer in direct lighting in a windowsill or something like that. Plus, if the plant starts having any issues like with the leaves or just problems and I can't seem to solve it, I have the name right there that I can, look it up online to see what's going on or better ways to care for that plant. So I really like this new method because I don't always remember the names of every single plant, especially the ones that have a more scientific sounding name. It's just easier for me to have it written down. So a little tip for you there. And obviously if you use that white tape, you can peel it off if you switch the pot to another one or use that pot for a different plant. So I'm just going through and I'm repotting pretty much all of these plants. Some of them I'm actually separating so that I can make 2 plants out of them, or make extra plants, because they're going to be going into these small pots and they will regrow. If I separate them, they will get nice and full again as I water them and as they grow. So once I had everything into those pots, I started sort of arranging it the way that I thought it looked the best. To be honest with you all, I would definitely like to fill in this plant wall even more so. One of my absolute favorite greenhouses to go to is Schmucker's Gardens, but it is over an hour away from me here in central Pennsylvania. If you guys don't know about that place, I've talked about them before here on my channel, and they have a coffee shop inside of a greenhouse, but they are like absolute heaven for houseplant people because they have so many varieties, things you've never seen before, lots of tools for houseplants and things like that. So I will probably be making a trip there sometime soon just to get a few more varieties to put into this wall. And I did leave spaces also for more propagation bottles as I find them when I'm thrifting and things like that. So I'm pretty excited to be able to continue working on filling in this wall. Plus, I can use my propagations to make more plants to fill in the wall. I think I've said that 3 times now, but you get the idea. Either way, I'm just so thrilled with how this looks. I feel like I've got a great combination of viney plants and bushy plants. And then this little one that has the pink in it, my husband actually gave me for my birthday along with the roses that he got me, and it is my favorite plant on this wall because he knew I was going to be putting this together. He was helping me with it, and he thought about a little plant I could add to this, and it's actually called a polka dot plant, which I didn't know until I looked it up, and that's just my favorite plant just because it was from him, and it was so sweet that he thought about the project I was working on and gave me something to support my little project. And so now I'm going to be filling up my glass bottles with just water to do some propagating. Now, I did collect some cuttings as I was repotting some of the pots, and I'm just going to be putting them in here. You can put like a root booster in water like this that will help the roots grow faster, I guess, but honestly, I've had pretty good success just putting them into water, and I like clear glass because then I can see, you know, how well the root is growing. So the next thing we're going to work on is our little tiny glass bottles, and I thought I was going to use a command strip to put these on, but then I started to think more about attaching wire to them to hang them on the wall. I felt like it would give a nicer look to be able to just see the water in the jar or the bottle versus the command strip behind the bottle, and it worked out perfectly. I just used paper clips. I didn't even have to get anything extra to do this, and the paper clips are pretty heavy metal, and so it really worked out to hold these bottles. And then I just filled them up and took some of the cuttings from the wall, and then also just bits and pieces I had collected while I was repotting as well. And I think these are going to be so fun to watch the little roots come out in these bottles, and the light shining through them on sunny days is just going to add an extra little thing to this space. So you might remember this from a video or 2 ago. This is a cutting, a massive cutting I took off of my Monstera in our dining room. And I got this pot to transfer it. It was starting to root into the water, but I felt like because of the height of it and everything, I really should just get it into soil. I wanted to make sure that it has the best shot at really propagating well and being able to grow and all of that. So I took my pot, filled it with potting soil, and put it into a mixing bowl, and then I dumped a lot of water in there, and I also put a bamboo rod into the soil as well. Just let everything drain into that mixing bowl so we didn't have too much water. And then I put the cutting, if you can call this a cutting, I feel like it's just another plant at this point because it's just so huge, but I'm putting it in alongside that bamboo rod, and then I'm going to just take a little bit of jute string and tie it to that bamboo rod. I know there's so many fancy little straps and ties and things you can get for plants. I've even gotten Velcro ones in the past, but honestly, most of the time in our craft stuff, we have jute string around, so I usually just go for that to help tie up my plants. So as I was doing this project, obviously putting together the plant wall, I was really hoping to find some kind of seating for this space. And you all, I was thrifting this week and I found this love seat for $40. I still cannot get over it. I took off the back cushions. The back cushions were like the bottom cushions, and I replaced them with these fantastic pillows I found at Target. If you guys want the link for them, I will leave it below. And then I also put a nice big chunky knit throw on it, and it just completed this space. I still am dumbfounded that I found this love seat. It is just so beautiful. It truly looks unused. I don't think anyone used it. The cushions are in perfect condition, and it's so cozy and comfortable in the evenings and in the mornings to have my coffee and read. I just love it. I am so thrilled that you all are getting to see this room in the different states of the day. So I was hoping for an amazing sunrise this morning, because most days out of this corner we get beautiful sunrises, and today there just didn't happen to be a great sunrise to show you. But I do sometimes show them on my Instagram stories if you guys don't follow me over there. So go ahead and give me a follow if you want to see some pretty sunrises and just see what I'm up to on a daily basis. But this room is amazing, and then in the evenings you got to see how the sun can really kiss this room as well. So obviously an amazing location for plants to grow and for me to read and do my hobbies and just hang out, and most of all to have a place for prayer and studying my Bible in the mornings and all of that. And actually this morning I was in here doing that, and my husband came in, and we are both able to enjoy the thrifted love seat, which is so fun. I still can't believe how great of a deal I got on that and just how well it fit, and I happened to find it this week when I'm working on this project. It's so cool when God gives you little things like that. It's like a little nod or a little wink towards your way, even when it's something that's not necessarily a crazy necessity. He just gives us those fun little things. In case this is the first video of mine that you're watching, this way leads out to our kitchen area, and then the dining room is over that way. And then over here is our main living room space. And this is an old farmhouse, so it's got all the funny little corks. I'm assuming at some point this was a window, and then they made it into what it is now. I haven't quite figured out the styling of this. I've thought about getting antiqued books, kind of making it a fun like bookshelf / plant area. But I have to be mindful that I'm putting plants up here that can really take the sun, because in the morning, which now the sun is shifting and I'm learning more and more about this space the longer I'm in it with the sun. But in the morning, this all gets hit with direct sun, and then now it's kind of changing and shifting, and after a bit, it will not have any sun at all. But everything here really gets hit with a lot of sun as does everything pretty well here. And that's why I put this little cart in here. Right now it has extra dishes that I use for underneath of pots and whatnot, but I got these plants. This one here, like I said before, I write the names so I can, that is a zebra plant and it needs full shade. Since it needs full shade, I can't put it up on the plant wall. I actually bought it for the plant wall, but I can't put it up there because of how much sunlight this gets in the morning as well. So it's got to sit down here next to my arrowhead plant. This one also does not like direct sun. So this is a nice little hidden corner that I can hide plants that don't like the sun. So over here, I've got my 2 fiddles. That back guy back there, he's being a dramatic guy. He decided, because I moved him from the dining room into here, that he wants to drop all of his leaves. So he dropped a lot of leaves. We're on the mend. There's always one. If you're a plant person, there's always one that doesn't like you. And then this corner, I'm on the hunt to thrift 2 things for this room. One of them would be a different stand. Right now I just took one of those plant stands, put some books on it, and put my little lamp on there. And that is that $10 lamp I told you guys about in my last video. And then it was my birthday this past month, and my mom had these mailed to me. They live in Florida. I just thought it was the most special, thoughtful gift. But they're actually Propagation bottles, I guess, or vases if you want to call them. They're so cute. I might put some Propagations in them, but I just love them sitting up there. And when the sun hits them, they just look so pretty with the amber colored glass. Another really cool thing about this little love seat is I think my walking pad is going to fit really great under there. So I'll be able to just pull that out and walk in here and enjoy the view. I'm telling you, this is going to be my space. I'm going to be living in here 24/7, reading, doing all the things, working if I need to. It's a great spot to get in the sunshine during these colder months. All of that. Now, I said I wanted to thrift 2 things, one being a little nightstand or a side table of some kind. The second thing is I was thinking about putting a coffee cart or a little coffee side table. I don't want it to stick out very far, so I'm kind of looking for a console table size. But if I can find something to thrift, I may put something like that in here as well. I just think it would be so fun to make a cute little coffee nook of some kind, coffee/tea in this. And then over here, this is another area that I can be thrifting some things for. I would love to find more bottles similar to this one right here. My fingernails still have dirt under them from working in the plants. But I would love to find more bottles like this one or like this one. And don't come for me about this bottle. I am already expecting comments from all you plant people. That thing needs to be transplanted. I already know. I just didn't take the time to do it with all of the other things I was doing today. The other thing that needs to happen is this here needs to be transplanted into the pot it's sitting in. Again, another day, another project. Another little project that needs to happen is this guy right here is actually almost busting out of his pot because there's so many little sprouts and it needs to be separated and propagated, I guess if you would call that propagating, because we're getting more out of one plant. But I just love everything here. My little mini plants, they are so stinking adorable. And I want to make more of them. The really fun thing about all of this is I can propagate and then plant them in pots and give them to people as hostess gifts, which is such a fun thought to me and one of my motivations for doing this. But sometimes I'm thrifting and I find the cutest stuff, like this little mirror. It's actually stone. It's very heavy. And I don't know where to put it because it's just really small. Well, now I have a spot to put small little thrifty finds, just like these bottles. And oh, they're just so cute. My daughter came in here and hadn't seen these, and she turned around and was looking at everything, and she's like, oh, Mom, these are so cute. So I am just thrilled with all of this. I hope that this video in some way inspired you. If you're new here, I hope that you subscribe. I'm so glad I have this fun new space to hang out in and film in as well. Obviously those are in my thoughts because I can bring my prep table in here. We can do some cooking in front of the fun plants. all of that. Comment below, let me know what project you are working on in your home this week, and I'll see you all in my next video.